There is no topic more controversial than the COVID vaccine. While many are excited by the prospect, others oppose it. Talk of mandating them and having vaccine passports is seen by some as an abuse of rights. Then there are the people in the middle who are for a vaccine once it has proven its efficacy. With each passing day, we are reading headlines celebrating the rollout of the vaccine. In Australia, there is hype around their recent approval. We are also seeing headlines about mass deaths in aged care and people passing away suddenly after having received their jab. But each time we are assured that a link between the vaccine and deaths does not exist and is coincidence. Add to this the censorship of anyone who criticises them. We are witnessing people being banned on social media at disturbing rates. So what is the truth? At TheInformer, we pride ourselves on presenting all sides to any story, and that's what we're doing today. Joining me to discuss the COVID vaccine is Rose Snow, Donna Sykes, and Kristi Simmons, all who have different experiences. Welcome to the program, ladies.
Hi.
Now, also, we have a couple of extra people. Joining Kristi, we have her husband Nigel and sister Terry, who have been helping her through the process since receiving her jab. So I'm going to go to Rose first, and I just want to hear, Rose, first of all, have you received the vaccine? Are you getting it? Do you want it? Where are you sitting with all of this?
Well, Natalie, I am in the group that's advised not to get the jab. Mm-hmm. I have had 2 serious adverse events with medicines. One left me all but dead a long time ago and took me 3 years to recover from. And another one in India more recently, and that actually was from not an allopathic medicine, but from an Ayurvedic oil. So I'm very strong, my constitution is very strong, but I'm very sensitive. Even complementary medicines, a homeopathic medicine I took once resulted in an ambulance being called to me. And so I do still use all those medicines, sometimes allopathic, homeopathic and Ayurvedic, but I always take great care about dose and whether any particular thing is one that will is a no-no for me given my history. So I'm in that group, but I cannot hide the I have to be authentic, and I cannot hide the fact that if I did not have that particular medical background, given the controversy at the moment in the medical scientific community and indeed the political community, I have needed to find out what's going on before I want to commit. Before I would want to commit, I can't, but I have to say that.
Sure. So you are in what's considered an at-risk category. You are 70. I'm sorry to be revealing your age on TV, but so has the doctor expressed an opinion either way as to whether, despite your allergies and reactions to things, whether you should or shouldn't be taking the vaccine?
Well, I can read the government advice and scientific and medical advice myself. I don't need to trouble the doctor on that. I'm a holistic therapist, and so I protect myself by taking vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, and I have researched in the past and concocted an amazing smoothie comprised of roots, leaves, nuts, seeds, fruit and seaweed, which protects and keeps my immune system in a top-notch condition.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to move to you, Donna. You have received the vaccine. You are a nurse, so you're a frontline worker. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, what was there any sort of doubt or extra thinking when you were offered the vaccine, or was it an immediate yes for you?
I did think about it because, like a lot of people, I thought that's been rushed through. That's really quick. normally there's a few years of research, but then one of the doctors at work explained that because it's a worldwide pandemic, they've thrown everything into research that they can do that would normally take years. So I did think about it, but then I thought, well, I see these patients who are being ventilated, the ones on the wards who just cannot breathe, they're fighting for every breath, exhausted. And I just thought, because I have had asthma, I've got seasonal asthma with hay fever, so mild allergies. My son is asthmatic, he's been hospitalised with asthma. I thought, I just want to get as much protection for myself and my family as possible. My mum and dad are both almost 80. They've both had their first vaccines. They had absolutely no doubt about it. They wanted it. I think it's just like a small step back to normality. I don't think we'll ever be as normal as before, but it's just a small step for me.
And which vaccine did you have?
The Pfizer.
Pfizer. And was there any reaction for you at all?
The next day, my arm felt heavy. I couldn't lift it above my shoulder, but that was just the next day. And since then, nothing.
And your parents, did they have anything?
Just the dead arm feeling.
Sure.
That's all they had.
Which is normal with most vaccines.
Yeah.
And so when are you due for your second shot?
It's the 28th of March. I've got the appointment.
Okay, so you're not having the 3-week interval, you're having a longer interval?
Well, the government had changed it that there's 12 weeks in between now. It should have been 3 weeks, right, but they've extended the period to 12 weeks in between. I think it's so that they can get more people through. I think that Pfizer recommend 3 weeks, but it can be up to 12 weeks. So.
And are you definitely getting the Pfizer shot as your second dose, or you're not sure yet?
I'm not sure. I would assume so, but I'm not sure.
The reason I ask is because I have certainly seen headlines coming over here in the US and in Australia that the UK have toyed with the idea of saying it doesn't matter which vaccine you get for the second dose. And then there are other bodies that are saying, well, that's not how it's designed. So there hasn't been any talk of that.
No. I mean, I'm assuming because I got mine done at work, so it was in the hospital, that they've got the freezers there to store it. And I think the issue was between the Pfizer and the other ones that they can be kept in a fridge, but the Pfizer one has to be frozen and then defrosted. So I think it's just the logistics of it, really. So I'm assuming it is the Pfizer one.
Sure. And now, Kristi, I'm going to come to you, and I think it's impossible for people to have not noticed that you've got these tremors that you don't have any sort of control over. You too received the vaccine, and you also are a frontline worker. Are the tremors a result of your vaccine?
They're not sure yet.
Right.
My primary care doctor feels that yes, that it is a direct result from my vaccine, but we're still working on finding the full truth.
Right. And did the tremors start immediately after you received the vaccine, or was it a delayed reaction?
It was delayed. I had a mild reaction 2 days after the vaccine that caused throat and mouth swelling and pretty much COVID symptoms. I was fever, chills, body aches. Those lasted for 4 days. 4 days. And then after the 5th day, I went back to work, and then that night the tremors started.
Right. And have they let up at all since they began?
I'm working with 3 doctors now. I do have better days. Today seems to be, today's a medium day. I haven't had the full body, where we call them episodes because we don't know what else to call them.
Yeah.
But I have had the tremors for quite a few hours now.
Okay, so going back to getting the shot, was this something that you absolutely knew you wanted? It was something you were unsure of? What was the thinking behind taking it?
It was no doubt. I've been in healthcare since I was 17. I've taken every vaccine that's ever been recommended. So it wasn't a question for me. I wanted to show people that it was safe and to help support my other colleagues in nursing, to let them know that we're behind them and, you know, that it's okay.
There are a lot of reports coming out, and I'll go to both you, Kristi, and Donna. There are a lot of reports coming out about a lot of frontline workers, healthcare workers that are not wanting to take the vaccine. Just in your respective hospitals or in the units that you're working on, how have you found the reaction towards the vaccine? Have majority of staff taken it? Are there a lot of people that are questioning it?
I've seen about half and half. Some are still dead set on getting the vaccine, and others are absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with it.
Sure. And Donna, how are you finding it?
I think the majority of my co-workers have taken it in my department. I know one girl hasn't because she has a lot of severe allergies.
Sure.
So she's been advised not to. But I think most people have had it.
Okay, so we are just getting started with this conversation, but we're going to take a break, and we are going to be right back with part 2.